Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Palladium has moved up again. It is piercing $1,600, and gold is up, pre the Fed statement. Well, let's explore. This article comes to us from investing.com, and it's taking a look at what's going on in the precious metals market. Some exciting times if you hold any palladium. I've got some that I got back when it was under $200 an ounce. I've also bought some when it was relatively high, but not this high. This is crazy indeed. Neither the Chinese economy nor the global auto sector is looking rosy this year. Yet palladium, which is used for making the catalytic converters that purify gasoline emissions, is in a bullish world of its own. The spot price of the silvery white metal smashed past the $1,600 level for the first time in a second straight day of record highs on Tuesday, amid expectations of a continued scarcity in the commodity produced mainly in Russia and South Africa. Some of you may remember talked about the strikes that were going on in South Africa. Spot palladium was up $6.95 or 0.4% at $1,585.25 per ounce after settling an all-time high of $1,602.30. Palladium futures traded on the COMEX division of the New York Mercantile Exchange rose by $8.20 or 0.5% to $1,547.90 per ounce after a peak at $1,563.60. Other precious metals, led by gold, also rallied as the dollar traded near three-week low on bets that the Federal Reserve will announce another hold in interest rates on Wednesday at the end of its March meeting. This just goes to show you how people are foreseeing what's going to be happening. That's what happens in a lot of futures trading and the like, and that's why we say a lot of this activity, and movement happens before the actual announcements are made. But there's if they do announce a rate hike by surprise tomorrow or Wednesday when they're going to make this announcement, then watch for the metals to just plunge by a pretty significant amount, because it'll be quite a surprise. But I doubt that's going to happen. A negative yielding dollar tends to push investors towards alternative assets, with precious metals seen offering the best store of value. The dollar index, which measures a greenback against a basket of 6 currencies, slid by 0.2% to 95.782 by 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, after sliding to 95.732 earlier, at its lowest since February the 28th. Spot gold, reflective of trades in physical bullion, rose by $4.22 or 0.3% to $1,307.92 after a session peak of $1,310.93. COMEX gold futures for April delivery gained $6.25 or 0.5% to $1,307.75. Palladium's rally heightened this week on news that Russia was mulling a ban on the export of precious metal scrap and tailings to promote domestic refining of the materials. Well, that's interesting. That definitely is news. More than 4/5 of the world's palladium comes as a byproduct from nickel mining in Russia and platinum mining in South Africa. That leaves the supply dependent on the success of extraction of those two metals. Johnson Matthey, a leading auto catalyst manufacturer, said the shortfall in the nearly 10 million ounce a year palladium market narrowed in 2018 to 29,000 ounces from 787,000 ounces in 2017, its widest in 3 years. Moody's last week cut its global auto sector outlook to negative from stable, forecasting a 0.5% sales growth this year versus a previous target of 1.2%. The downward revision comes amid continuous concerns that China's economy might have its slowest growth this year in 3 decades, adversely impacting its auto industry. And you have to keep that in mind with palladium and platinum prices. And that may be one reason why we are not hearing about a retooling of using platinum instead of palladium. Maybe they know something with the demand may decrease in China for the auto industry. But such negative talk has done little to deflate the investor enthusiasm for palladium. Palladium is now a leader in precious metals, and each price hike making news and further media discovery of its tightness. Now, no one's talking about rhodium, but we'll discuss that in another video because it's shooting up pretty high now too, over $3,000. And this is from George Jarrow, analyst at RBC Wealth Management, New York. Talk of Russia slowing down palladium exports is front and center on any analysis on palladium. So no talk about the strikes. Where do we stand on the strikes in South Africa? You know, that's why it's important to pay attention to geopolitics in times like this, especially if there's a very short supply and it's only in certain regions. Whatever happens in those countries, you got to pay attention to see what's going to happen with the price of these metals. Euro also cites another less spoken use for palladium as catalyst for cracking crude oil into products such as gasoline and heating oil. China is also resorting to economic stimulus, so the landing for the auto industry may not be that bad at all from the palladium investor's perspective. So it's quite interesting to see what's happening here with the metals. And for those of you who are collectors out there, well, we saw the Palladium Eagles that were first released in 2017 in bullion form. It was back when it was much cheaper. And so having those particular pieces was kind of a nice alternative if you wanted to invest in a metal, and that's really kind of what it is. Because it was cheaper than gold. So people were thinking that the collector versions would be cheaper than the gold versions. That turned out not to be true in 2018 when they released the proof Palladium Eagle. 2019 will have the reverse proof Palladium Eagle. And at the prices where they're going now, we're going to see that push upwards of $2,000 for those coins when they're released later in the year, if the prices either stay where they're at or rise up even more. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, especially with the Federal Reserve statement, because if the Fed does not choose to raise the rates, which it probably will not do this time, I believe we'll see the metals stay where they're at or even climb up in the coming months from where they're at. Of course, a lot of it depends on where things are and other events that could happen in between those times. But I've heard news that the Federal Reserve probably will only raise rates one other time this year. And believe you me, when that time comes, it's going to be under a lot of scrutiny because of the nature of the things are. 7 in 10 Americans say the economy is doing well. That was reported by CNN. And so if people have confidence in the economy, the psychological aspect of that could carry on and prevent when some of us fear, at least for this year and into next year, that we may head into a recession. I believe it's inevitable. And as I've mentioned in other times, economic cycles by their very nature are they are inevitable, and it's a normal process for economic cycles to occur, which means there's going to be some downturns. And it occurs in every free market economy. Well, and it occurs in every economy. It's just how it's steered or how it's dealt with. That's what is a differing aspect in how those things are treated. And in those times when the economy does go down, well, that's why we hold precious metals. Gold and silver are the mainstays and the hedges, safe havens, if you will. Platinum and palladium, as was discussed in this video here, those are more speculative, and their industrial aspects. Obviously, coins and investment-grade bars can be made of those metals, but you don't see those nearly as much in demand as you do see for gold and silver. They don't have the history as being used as money that gold and silver have over time. So post your thoughts below about this exploding, amazing news about palladium piercing up that $1,600 ceiling there. And where do you think it'll go from here? I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.